Good morning, class 12 students. Till the last video, we started a chapter inverse trigonometry. Okay, we understand how to calculate the range of six inverse trigonometric functions. Then we calculated few questions with respect to principal values. Then I've discussed the different formulas. Okay, how they are related to trigonometry, normal trigonometry, which is studied in class 11. So today we will start different types of questions. Okay, so let's see one by one. Okay, there are first whatever I will be writing here on the board. Okay, this is also under the theory only. Okay, there are two types of sums which you need to solve in two different ways. Rest the whole chapter depending on that only. Okay, let's see. See, the question is find sine inverse sine pi by 6. Solution start from here. Sine inverse sine pi by 6. What the formula say? Sine inverse sine x equals to x होना चाहिए आंसर. फॉर्मूला यही बोलता है ना कि sin inverse of sin x okay equals to x होता है. That means sin inverse of sin pi by 6 should be equals to pi by 6, 5 pi by 6. But see here, whatever is this is what? Sin inverse. The question is of sin inverse of something. That means the answer should be within the range of sin inverse. Okay. So what is the range of sin inverse? Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Okay. So minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 lies where? It is lies in the fourth quadrant and the first quadrant. यहाँ पे lie करता है. But if we say by using the formula sin inverse of sin pi by 6, 5 pi by 6 is 5 pi by 6. Now what is pi by 6? 30. What is 5 into 30? 150. 150 lies here somewhere. That means this is not lying within the range. So I will write like this. Sin inverse of sin pi by 6 is not equals to pi by 6. Why? Since 5 pi by 6 doesn't belong to the range. Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Range में गिर नहीं रहा. Okay. Few questions directly answer will be whatever we have here. This. Like for example, if a question is like this. Sin inverse sin pi by 6. Then the answer will be simply pi by 6. Why? Using the formula. Moreover, the answer what you got is within the range of sin inverse. So answer will be like this only. Okay. But in this sort of questions where the angle is 5 pi by 6 and the 5 pi by 6 angle is not lying in the range of sin inverse. Why are we seeing the sin inverse only? Because we have sin inverse here. So in these cases what you have to do, you have to break this angle using a what? Using what class? Using the terminal, okay? 5 pi by 6, you have to break it. So how to break? Numerator को denominator से divide मारो, okay? Numerator we have 5, denominator we have 6. So you have to break 5 in terms of 6. That is the job, not pi. Pi will remain as pi. You have to break 5 in terms of 6. So, can I write like this? 6 1 the 6. What is the denominator? Minus 1. So, I can write like this. 6 into 1 minus 1. This will give you 5. Okay. So, I am breaking 5 in terms of 6. 6 into 1, 6 minus 1, 5. So, other than that, what are you left with? Pi by 6. You understand the breaking process? So, when to break? When, if you apply the formula and the answer doesn't belong to range. Okay. When the answer doesn't belong to range, then that is not the answer. Understand? So in those cases you have to break. So now what will happen? Sin inverse sine. Now if you open the bracket, 6 pi into pi by 6. 6 will cancel. Pi minus 1 into pi by 6. Pi by 6. Okay. Now can we use quadrant concept here? Sine of pi minus. What is pi minus? Pi minus. Where is pi? Here, pi minus means what? Second quadrant. These are class 11 concept. Second quadrant. In second quadrant, sign is positive. Plus, pi is unchangeable. Sign will remain sign. Pi by 6. So, what you got? Sine inverse of sine pi by 6. Now we can write this is equals to pi by 6. Formula we are using. Which formula? Sine inverse of sine x equals to x. And this belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. This is the answer. But here also if you apply the formula, then whatever the thing you are getting, that doesn't belong to the minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Understand? This is the reason we have to break it further. Let's go to similar type one more. Now see the next question. Sine inverse sine 7 pi by 6. Okay. Sine inverse sine 7 pi by 6. The answer should be, if you apply the formula, sine inverse of sine x is x. But it won't be equals to 7 pi by 6. Not equals to 7 pi by 6. Why? Since 7 pi by 6 doesn't belong to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. 7 into 30, 1 to 210. Okay, 210 कहाँ लाई करता है? देखो इधर, यहाँ से यहाँ तक होना चाहिए. 210 180 इधर होता है. 180 यहाँ पे है, 270 यहाँ पे, 210 यहाँ पे होगा. Okay, so this it doesn't belong to fourth and the first quadrant. So this is not the answer. Okay, that's what my job. My job is to break this angle. So see, we have to break 7 in terms of 6. How to break? 6 into 1 plus 1. 6 into 1 plus 1. I'm breaking 7. 6 into 1 plus 1. Rest. What you left with? Pi by 6. I'm writing pi by 6 here. Now multiply 6 into 1. 6 into pi by 6. 6 will cancel out pi plus 1 into pi by 6. Pi by 6. Now see. Why I'm doing two similar type sums. Here, after applying quadrant concept, we are getting plus here. But see here. Pi plus. Where is pi? Here, pi plus goes to third quadrant. Third quadrant में sign negative होता है. Unchangeable. Sign will remain sign pi by 6. Now what to do with this minus sign? Again how? Because now I cannot apply the formula. Here we can apply the formula. Why? Because we have plus. Plus means nothing. Sin inverse of sin pi by 6. This plus I can write like this. So the formula directly applying sin inverse of sin x. Here sin inverse of minus sin x आ जा रहा है. Understood? So we cannot apply the formula here. We have to remove this minus. Now for removing a minus, whether we apply quadrant concept or we put it inside. How to understand? From the previous concept. This is sin inverse. Range is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So what to do with this minus? This will go inside. Okay class. Similar to the first exercise. Now we can apply the formula. Sin inverse of sin theta is theta. Okay, sin inverse of sin x is x, and minus pi by 2 belongs to minus pi by 6 belongs to minus pi by 2 pi by 2. It belongs to the range. Now this is the answer. Okay. Now similarly, next question. Now see, next question. Cos inverse of cos 7 pi by 6. Again there is a formula. Cos inverse of cos x is x. Okay, the cos inverse of cos x should be equals to 7 pi by 6. Answer should be 7 pi by 6. But whatever the answer you're getting, that should be inside the range of the inverse. So which inverse I'm dealing with? Cos inverse. So what is the range of cos inverse? 0 to pi. So we have to see 7 pi by 6. Does it belongs to 0 to pi? So what is pi by 6? 30. 7 into 30, 210. What is the range? 0 to 180. So 210 exceeding 0 to 180. That's what I'm writing. Not equals to 7 pi by 6. Since 7 pi by 6 doesn't belongs to, take a belongs to and cut it. Doesn't belongs to 0 to pi. That is what you have to do. You have to break this angle further. Okay. So let's break it. Cos inverse cos. How to break? Break the numerator in terms of denominator. So what is numerator? 7. What is denominator? 6. So how to break 7? 6 into 1 plus 1. Always. न्यूमरेटर को डिनोमिनेटर के फॉर्म में ब्रेक करना है क्लास. ओके, सो 6 into 1 plus 1. If you into 6 into 1, 6 into pi by 6 become 5. This into this plus this into this. Now see here, cos inverse pi plus belongs to third quadrant. In third quadrant cos is negative. Okay, now pi is unchangeable. Cos will remain cos pi by 6. Now can we apply the formula here? No. Why not? Minus sign is there. So we have to remove this minus sign. How to remove? So this minus for the cos inverse. Cos inverse belongs to 0 to pi. In 0 to pi, how to remove minus? We have to write minus cos theta equals to cos of pi minus theta. ऐसे लिखते हैं ना? In the last videos we studied exercise 1. Okay? Minus cos theta. In these things we have to use pi minus theta. So we are using the same exercise concept here. So it is cos inverse cos 5 pi by 6. 6 pi minus 5 pi by 6. Now what is 5 into 30? 150. 150 belongs to, that means the answer is this only. Cos inverse cos x equals to x. And this is the answer. Why? Because it belongs to 0 to pi. Okay, so this you always have to check. After calculating everything, whether the answer which you are getting, does it belongs to the principal value or the range of the function or not. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next question. Now see, this is a very important concept for this whole chapter. So listen very carefully. Okay, I've discussed this concept in form of a question. See, what is the question? Till now, the question which we did, 3 questions we did till now, in which inverse was outside, Trigno was inside. Like this, 5 pi by 6. Inverse बाहर था, Trigno अंदर था. Okay. Now we will deal with the questions where outside is Trigno, inside is inverse. Okay. And both the Trignos are different. Both the parents are different. Both the ratios. Something maybe one is sine, another is tan. One is cos, another is sec. Like this. Okay. You understand the difference in the question? Okay. These questions are very easy till we whatever question which we have solved just now, where the inverse is outside and Trigno is inside. You can easily use quadrant concept, break the angle, you will get the answer. Okay. But if the Trigno is outside, inverse is inside, then what to do? Okay. So in these questions, try to understand the pattern of the question. This is very important to understand which pattern we are dealing with here. So here we are dealing with Trigno outside, inverse inside. So whenever you have this type of question, inverse inside. Okay. What's your job is? How to solve this question? This question can be solved. This question, especially this question. Why this question only? Why not some other question? Later on we will discuss these things. Okay, this question can be solved in 2 ways. One is called triangle method, which you understand earlier while discussing theorem number 14. Okay, I told you any inverse trigonometry can be converted to other inverse trigonometry using a triangle method, right? Okay, that we can use, or using a basic formula method. Okay. Now, this triangle method is not versatile. It is not fundamental method. That means, listen very carefully. Triangle method cannot be used in every question. Formula method can be used in every question. But why we are studying triangle method then? Triangle method is very handy. It makes our job very short. Okay, jaldi kar lete hain hum log sab. If we know when to use triangle method, when we cannot use triangle method. That is my job here to understand. Okay, when to use triangle method, when we cannot use triangle method. Okay, so try to understand what I am saying here. See, what the question? Trigno bar inverse under. Find sine of cos inverse 3 by 4. So solution starts from here. Write in the question sine of cos inverse 3 by 4. Okay, not 4, 3 by 5. Okay, now first triangle method. Whether you deal with triangle method or you deal with formula method, the job is take the inverse part as theta. Okay. Take the inverse. Any question. Yeah. Trigno outside, inverse inside. It may possible inside we have lots of terms. So from those lots of terms, take the inverse part as theta. So let cos inverse 3 by 5 as theta. Okay. Now see. We have sine here. If we can convert this cos inverse into sine inverse, job is done. Formula आ जाएगा sin of sin inverse gap हो जाएगा then. So this is the thinking process. That if we have sine here, we have cos inverse here. That means my job is to convert cos inverse in terms of sine inverse. This we think in triangle method. Okay. So we got cos inverse 3 by 5 theta. I need to convert cos inverse into sine inverse. So any inverse Trigno can be converted into other inverse Trigno. Okay, using basic triangle method. So I am making a triangle, matching as theta. And what is this? Perpendicular. What is this? This is base. Okay, sorry, hypotenuse. Base by hypotenuse. Cos theta ka base. What is base 3? Hypotenuse is 5. Then you calculate this. This will be 4. You can calculate on your own. Okay, you have to calculate this. Yeah, apne aap nahi aayega. You have to calculate 5 square minus 3 square. This will be 4. Now see. Cos inverse 3 by 5 I have taken as theta. That means the same theta will be equals to sine inverse perpendicular by hypotenuse 4 by 5. So these things are called triangle method, converting one inverse trigonometry into other inverse trigonometry. Okay. Now in the place of cos inverse 3 by 5, I can write sine inverse 3 by 4 by 5 here. So I'm writing the question answer here. See again. Sine inverse. Sine. In the place of cos inverse, what I'm writing? Sine inverse 4 by 5. So sine of sine inverse theta is theta. Answer is 4 by 5. Okay. So again I am saying Triangle method is very handy. How we apply the triangle method? We have to see the question. Outside we have simple Trigno sine. Inside we have inverse Trigno cos inverse. If I can convert the cos inverse into sine inverse directly, then job is done. So cos inverse को one Trigno function, one inverse Trigno function cos inverse to convert into other inverse Trigno function sine inverse, we can use triangle method. So we are using the triangle method here. Okay. Next comes to formula method. This is a little bit typical, but for doing this method, which is a versatile method, apply in every question. Okay, apply in every question this method. You need to remember all the formulas of class 11, which you don't know. I know. Most of the students don't know the formula. So that's why I told in the previous video also that first you learn all class 11 formulas. That is a hardcore of mathematics. You cannot run away from trigonometry class. Okay. So let's start. Again, take the inverse part as theta. Okay. From there, convert this inverse into Trigno. Cos inverse will actually become cos theta. So it becomes simplified. Okay. What my job? Overall thinking process सुन लो. We will take the inverse part as theta. From there you will get a Trigno. Okay. Now you check what Trigno the question becomes. What is the question? Sine of cos inverse 3/5. Cos inverse 3/5 I have taken as theta. That means the question becomes sine theta. So listen very carefully. I am taking the inverse part as theta. From the inverse part we are getting a Trigno. And the question is one more Trigno. Okay, sine theta. Now you have to search a formula combining these two Trignos, sin theta and cos theta. Okay, so don't remember like the sin theta cos theta ka formula. No, you have to take the inverse part as theta. From there you will get a Trigno. See what Trigno the question becomes. Okay, then you check a formula combining both the Trignos. From there you will get the answer. So what we have, the Trigno what we got is cos theta 3/5, and the Trigno the question becomes sin theta. So I need to calculate sin theta. Why? See, sin this, that is sin theta. So find a formula. So we know the formula cos inverse cos square theta plus sin square theta equals to 1. From the sin theta we can calculate. Answer is 4/5. The answer remains same whether you do triangle method, whether you do formula method. Now, a very important note which you have to write in your notebook after writing these two questions. Okay, solutions. In your book, make a column. Left hand side, write this solution. Right hand side, write this solution. Below that, write on the board. Okay, now listen very carefully. I told you triangle method is not fundamental method. It cannot be applied in every question. Right? This I have told you. Why? Which are those questions? How we will understand that yes, we will understand by seeing the question only. Yes, we can apply triangle method. Yes, we can apply triangle method. Okay. Now, the same question, if it is like this. Half of cos inverse 3/5. Now see, this is a coefficient now. A coefficient aa gaya. So any question which has a coefficient before the inverse part. Here, do we have a coefficient? Coefficient is 1. So no issue. We can go for triangle method. But in these questions where we have the coefficients before the inverse part, here cannot use triangle method. You have to use what? Use formula method. So this question will do next. Okay, this note you have to write. Don't write only this much. In own language, whenever we have a inverse with a coefficient. Okay, inverse के आगे coefficient है. In those questions, triangle method fails. We cannot use triangle method. So in those questions, what you have to do? You have to go for fundamental method. What is that fundamental method? Formula method. Okay. So I will teach you now the next part how to do that question. If you have a coefficient. Okay. Now see. Find sine of half cos inverse 3/5. So now we understand by seeing the question before inverse part. What is inverse here? Cos inverse. We have half. That means we have a coefficient here. So this question cannot be solved by triangle method that we have learned till now. So how to go for formula method? The same concept we will use. Take the inverse part as theta. From there you will get a Trigno. Check what the question becomes. what type of Trigno the question becomes, then write down the formula between those two. Same concept will follow here. So I'm writing the question again, sine of half cos inverse c by 5. So okay, first step, take the inverse part as theta. So let cos inverse c by 5 is theta. From there you will get a Trigno. So cos inverse go that side, cos theta equals to 3 by 5. So this step is what? Taking the inverse part as theta and get a Trigno. Now next step, see what the quotient becomes. So what is quotient? Sine inverse half cos inverse 3 by 5. Cos inverse 3 by 5 is theta. That is what? Sine is theta by 2. Sine of theta by 2. Sine of theta by 2. So this is the next part, next step. So what is the first step? Take the inverse part as theta. From there you get a Trigno. See, next step, see the quotient becomes what Trigno. Done. Now third step, write down the formula combining these two trigonometries. The Trigno which you got and the Trigno what the quotient becomes. The Trigno which you got from after taking the inverse part as theta and the Trigno the quotient becomes. So we have to find a formula which combine cos theta and sin theta by 2. So now we know the formula 1 minus cos theta equals 2 sin square theta by 2. From there what we need to calculate? Sin theta by 2. So shift everything that side. See the calculation. Okay. After that we will get 1 by root 5 is the answer. Sin theta by 2. So what is sin theta by 2? Is nothing but this only. That is what quotient. Okay. Understood? Let's do few more sums of this type where we have a coefficient. So always these coefficients will bring you trouble while solving the question. Now see the next question. Find tan half cos inverse root 5 by 3. So again see here, we have a half here. So coefficient we have, that means the question will give me trouble. Okay, we cannot use triangle method. So first step, inverse part ko theta lo. Let cos inverse root 5 by 3 theta. From there you will get a Trigno, cos theta equals to root 5 by 3. Now check what the question becomes. Therefore tan of half cos inverse root 5 by 3 equals to tan. This is theta, theta by 2. Theta by 2. Okay, now what is the third step? Check a formula combining cos theta, the Trigno which you got after taking the inverse theta and the Trigno the quotient becomes. So Trigno which you got is cos theta and the Trigno with the quotient becomes is tan theta by 2. Now again you have to search a formula combining these two. So now this checking the formula is the biggest issue here because you don't remember the formulas. So you have to remember the formulas, you have to mug up again and again, you have to write down the formulas again and again. Okay class? So now see. Combine these two, we have a formula tan theta by 2 equals to 1 root 1 minus cos theta by 1 plus cos theta. Substitute the value. The answer you will get like this. Now in the denominator we should not have root. Okay, so we need to rationalize. That is the basics of class 9-10. Okay, rationalize kya? So this is the answer. Understood class? So see, the question is where you will fail. You will understand these things. You will fail at this point. Writing a formula. Because you don't remember the formula. You will fail at this point. And because of that this chapter becomes tough. But try to analyze. This chapter is not tough for you. Because class 12 part is not a big issue. That you understand. What is the problem is class 11 formulas. So your job is to remember the class 11 formulas. Okay. Let's do one more sum. Okay. Last sum of this video. Evaluate cos sin inverse 3 by 5 plus sin inverse 5 by 13. बहुत सारा एक साथ में cos of sin inverse something plus sin inverse something. अभी तक हमने क्या पढ़ा था? Cos of अकेला sin inverse होना चाहिए. Okay. The question was like this till now. Cos of sin inverse something. Okay. And this question is very easy. We have sin inverse here. We have cos here. There is no coefficient. We can go for triangle method. Since we have cos here, that means if we can convert this sin inverse into cos inverse, job is done. Cos of cos inverse cancel ho jayega. Okay. So I think in that way. So but only in one trigonometry. If you have only one inverse inside, cos of sin inverse. We don't have any coefficient. So what we do for? We convert sin inverse into cos inverse. क्योंकि cos आगे है, तो cos of cos inverse गायब हो जाएगा. Okay. अगर मैं इसको cos inverse बना दूं, तो हो गया ना job. But what the problem is that we don't have single inverse, we have double inverse. So we go for the basic concept first. We don't think anything extra right now. Okay. What we can see here? We can see a formula here. cos of A plus B. A plus B. So what is cos of A plus B का formula? Cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. So we are using the formula. Cos of A plus B. Cos A into cos B minus sin A into sin B. Okay. क्यों किया? क्योंकि मुझे पता है inside cos if we have single sine inverse we can use the triangle method. So bringing single sine inverse. See, we got single sine inverse. Earlier it was plus plus na. So that's why you opened the formula. Cos A into cos B, cos A into cos B minus sin A into sin B. Now, see when we open the formula, himmate madda madade khuda. I always say na, see, sine of sine inverse gone 3 by 5. Sine of sine inverse gone 5 by 13. This you got it. हट गया सब कुछ. Cos sine sine inverse हट गया. But with this one, what is happening? We have cos with sine inverse, cos with sine inverse. That means we need to convert this sine inverse into cos inverse. We need to convert this sine inverse into cos inverse. Moreover, we don't have any coefficients. That means we can go for triangle method. Okay, triangle method and convert this sine inverse into cos inverse. So now we will go for this. Okay, sideways you will write sideways. So let's sine inverse 3 by 5 is theta 1. Perpendicular by hypotenuse. Now what is this? Calculate 4 aayega. So this theta 1 will be cos inverse base by hypotenuse 4 by 5. So now see, in the place of sine inverse I can write cos inverse 4 by 5. Okay. Similarly, take the next inverse. Sine inverse 5 by 30. So let sine inverse 5 by 30 is theta 2. Make a triangle theta 2. Perpendicular hypotenuse. This will come as 12. Okay. 169 minus 25. Solve it. Aa jayega 12. So theta 2 will be equals to cos inverse base by hypotenuse. So I converted sine inverse 5 by 13 into cos inverse 12 by 13. So now see, I am writing the same line here again. Cos, in the place of sine inverse what I am writing? Sine inverse 3 by 5 what I got? Cos inverse 4 by 5. Likh diya. Into cos, again sine inverse 5 by 13 what I got? Cos inverse 12 by 13. Minus 3 5 is 15. 5 into 13. Keep it like this. Don't cancel 5 5 because later on, okay, why I am not cancelling? Because यहाँ भी LCM और यहाँ भी LCM same होगा. So easy रहेगा. If I cancel कर दूँगा, the LCM will be different. Again, there is a problem of calculation. Okay, that is the reason why I am not cancelling this 5 5 because LCM same आएगा. See, यहाँ भी 5 by 13 नहीं आ गया 5 by 13. Okay, so now cos of cos inverse 4 by 5. Cos of cos inverse gone 12 by 13. Now see, LCM are same. So 48 minus 15, 30 by 65. Okay, so what you need to understand is that why we opened this. बुक में ऐसा नहीं किया गया. बुक में इसको थीटा 1 ले लिया, इसको थीटा 2 ले लिया, and they start converting. अरे हमको सपना थोड़ी आएगा we need to convert using triangle method. That तो later on we will understand. At this point though we don't have any idea that we need to convert. We will convert sine inverse into cos inverse only when we have cos outside with only one inverse. Okay, so we have plus plus. Why to convert? So for that first we opened it. Now at this point we understand that this becomes a formula. Sine of sine inverse gone. But here, what is happening? Cos with the sine inverse. Now we understand that we need to convert the sine inverse into cos inverse. Then we will go for the triangle method. Na? At the first step, we cannot go for triangle method. We don't have any idea. Okay, class. Okay, thank you very much for this video. Let's go to the next video for further few sums. Okay, thank you.